Boom.
And I pay him not. Yes, sir.
If you're sorry, train them there back at the massam kick there. Yes, sir, yeah, sir. Any man up his favorite part of your starting. I say, come down, I keep saying not to us, and a pair, sorry, yeah, sorry.
Yeah, sir, that's right.
Sorry, there, and then any matter, Miss Sports presenter, any matter.
Okay, I said,
I said, a pair, sorry, yeah, sorry. Meaning that bantam, sorry, the match was a January Petroleum Commission. Come on.
Oh, the Mukrank.
Damn.
Oh, yeah, the Casapa, Chade. Eshe. Ma wafa or ma munina. E won bechen.
Yeah.
Na akayada mbrente wo baba ye nsruma bi da kire won fafo.
Yeah.
E won me kire. De ma edim biara riye bia hwe na ye na ehwe na ye a wo mbe bo so ma kwa enyim na bi oso ehwu na ho afam abai petroleum commission be favor vimate chief
no wonder vimate
me chief me the JCR president.
No, Chief Vanda.
Chief Vanda. In fact, no, was a year after me. But
okay.
You may require no watching Chief Vanda. It's all by you or the Muslim in the moment. I think I chat to
other Henyama.
It's a wabridge man.
And what your minu fias, me de Kwekuna Charles, I'm the one I'm Quemreba, who go to Rabara. Bookie, or a bookie, I can be. Working with Rawlings.
My water room.
Yeah.
Last week, my band, my period there. May be queer, my father, may be. Na etum I share while connection. In fact, all who get connected to you, come once any see for me that.
Yamanadum.
I'm a man, may be. It's mana. Brututu manan dambra kontu furuto timan mashasha brututu mana nanso ehwe de pen ya wetwemi a wa ji baby ara
no
nti ya tete mu nkaka nkra wo ma yebotum na yegyado na ya kasa kakra na wadarom ansa na yebaba ebedi ho komo ya tafre ho ma manfa akwa mamfa kwan do na menchia wete fo pem
yeah jodo
kan fin manto mufo na yeah uncle no happen
Mr. Charles Usu o chance ya na Abdul Malik Kwekuba ko so chance eti me mamu nyina akwa aba
amafuzi ya uye
you know I
anyen mozo ma mepe you know
Usu ma openi no bi super odin
ya wa na ka na kwa me say eto abapapa ma omampaina onyi ma membu tisia chara hwe ma president Akufo-Addo ya o ye hu buradwen na ntase do kwa bi mfe ba sana phone wa nkasa me so yo na iyi nsam ya no o na bi se nsam for when you gba 1992 ya dan fi soja ban bakamam ka bia ban na hwe amampan na wa ba oye owura Rollins men kada wa anya bi oye bi ansana owura Kufuor ba bo so me no ye hippie country highly indebted poor country. How do you train how baby are ye? And so, or 2 minutes from famine to 2 to charge to torture. In a record time, Kufuor to me, Mama, ye and who feel hippie man won't deny obey. And Sunday, in the second term, the Kufuor the new social interventions, Akasaka, see the Baba Wadi. Of you and the president, or your mills, Oba. 2009, 2010, Yampo declare year of action. Because in the crime, eventually the country was running to a standstill. And the President Mahama, anu po do no cheda no otonko probe kra onye kwa eda hu baby a oyege President Akufo-Addo ada wojijan Kwame I've never deviated o mesawa me chair omanpanyin na
in chanum deviate
case do de sa to aba papa omanpanyin a nenwo bradu hu akasa ne mbade mboso nya enyo omanpanyin no yire so a Kwame owo enyo dadu hu no ode boa mpaje oman ma me Rebecca Kwame oman payin ne ira all the foundation bobo ade oman na fan za na nsa no djuma ho nam do chede kakaka ko apomudin ahwaya anada apomudin bia ma waye ndama oda ma hospital finfi mantom yen heda mo abodo hweda ni ansa na yede 307 wafa na ambulances baba ma ya chema constituency bia nyabi emende onu kwa bo sesi awe firi abo ende yan san kedo ambulance nyiwo ende pi no so ansa na omanpeyin na hihye mo de baba na nankasa okitesi osesun oda akwa kache wo sala na ma mbabi pi finfi mantom mami adoya oda ye hen hwe just this year Kwame odi the woman empowering the woman ma ndama odi baya oya freezers gas ovens obi a ori ye bibi na wa kofom odi ba hye and it was across the entire region. Yes, selective mesiafa waji dasenda sesiara wonsa okohwano a and wogina ye mebusuagina ye nyame charge 18th August in Kwame in the history of the women's struggle, rights struggle, 18th August, are very significant. I'm not known as a American, eventually a Congress due to allow for women to vote. It's my original no asia between Fimantum. All Babacha Aspiti, Achimfo Aspiti, one of the oldest medical facilities in the region. All Babacha, close to 100 years. All Babacha, in the ma, we want to get that place as a treatment center. You will buy 5 or 6 treatment centers this COVID in the region. Now, what's it? More the number Babasham da Bohon. Oh, we are Nankasa Sika, Nankasa Rebecca Foundation. Or the what is the library? It's women's welfare, children's welfare. Library will Mori in Chabuba Mori in Atase.
Mori, me.
I want for her. What's why you Kronura? And so, Mammy, Ordina, Dromina, Mori, or Bawa Commission Library, Shang. Oh, yeah, 18th August. And Sanoye, and Mam Penfuna, a Hema, Gumihemafu, on Wisha. It's Mammy Rebecca, yet was on Sado, yet was on Sada, Finfumantum, Junior, and Bois, na Dodo I would say, said to Abba Papa, Mom, Pino, and then your brother, who so say, no, Jumaya Sha. In your competent first lady for bonus. Now, my can the Marian quite you come here, Emma was me there. Marshall bits and pieces were a woman. Now, baby, what you can. Yeah, my question infant forward. And oh yeah, a poor Bobby Kakabia. Oh, my impanu. A woman now, or bacan. A woman, nobody. I do a woman. And so I had a baby today. Jayakwasini, yes, I yakwasini. So the comedies. With comedies in where I say, I'm sorry that. Oh, well. Toyamo we come gisina from nto kire no ono ma hu ajo wanyim ma rebaba kan moti na ekwowie de amampan dada ai John Mahama na abejechira And then the boy for a weapon that me by said the paper so say nine. Oh yeah, Professor na Jane Opoku Ajiman. Onu na Kwame. Otroy dam ma American our friend forward yi. Onu no chowe na Kwame so forward na and some kakebia are very instructive na we are more chado some of that chado I say equal the second page of the forward.
Forward into me sub the main issues are how book and matters arising. A. Genuine bad timing or deliberate agenda. B. Did Muhammad's running mate err in writing forward? C. Kokrokoo and Idaho vows to expose elements who spew rubbish against JJ. Tiado?
Yeah, now Kwame who synopsis.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, bad timing can we. There will always be a timing which might be bad for some and good for others. It's bad timing. Ono Kokrokoo no jama ba this analytical working about bad timing. Don't know pa. Oh yo the me papa. Kwame. Says ya chana. I don't know for ma. Says I will put our divert attention. The new breed after the first breed of babies with sharp teeth. New breed that insulting and lying breeding. Says I can for BB PDS. What was the divert? Oh, you to attention. What was that divert? PDS. Obia Numu and from more of them to the extent the US reply there. They are okay with what had even been discovered there instead of insurance guarantee. What what was the other? What the bad? The US said that we're okay with it. On my base, no, there's a breach. It's a yellow crowd. It's if there's somebody to be applauded here. On my paying the what bad. But I say I want you the form got him into quickly for being from that. This one it will not have any traction. Uncle who now Kwame na man that American oh yeah forward. Shama mami watcho wom kakra. As written in clear engaging prose. The writer invites the reader to receive the content of the narrative as an account honestly delivered. The vivid, engaging and deeply reflective eyewitness account, couched in unencumbered prose, brings to the fore events narrated with open honesty and transparency. The first person narrative perspective releases the reader from the potentially uncomfortable position of an intruder to that of a trusted addressee. This is especially so as the text grounds its content in verifiable facts, at times seeking and receiving the approval of non-fictive persons. She was very much surprised with all the content and that she had come to the conclusion there. In the moment, I should show my oh yeah, Mammy paying Professor Nana Jane Opoku Ajiman.
Na about bonin why?
Huh?
About Kwame.
So that is the question. Maybe but I get the back is up front. Why are you there? Jerry John Rollins. Where is his mate again? Ma watch your woman ma. I say ideologically he had no direction. Kwame, at the time where it was PNDC and when we migrated into democratic rule, as the chair of the cabinet, Kwame, you will find the then chairman and then subsequently the president playing with his toy planes. Kwame, he says, yeah, the question then will be, there, Obende, 11 years of military rule, 8 years of democratic rule, 19 years, and this country came to where we came to. Those questions then begin to pop up. We will get ourselves compared to the Asian Tigers and the rest of them. The simple answer here, Kwame Nkrumah provided for us, that you had the man at the pinnacle, cabinet in the man what discussed on Tasi. All he knew in his life was to fly planes, and so at cabinet he will only be sitting there and playing with his toy planes. But
okay, so they say ideas the banner say he buys in Twitter.
So what does that mean? What does that mean? Ideas in him. See, it's been etched in the mind of a cabinet member all this while. So clearly, members of cabinet make sure there. No one find this is a serious person, and I'm wondering, Obia won't window is serious. How they themselves could even be serious? Kwame, this book clearly, the myth around Rollins, Moye and this book completely demystifies him. I am saying that Sender Rollins Kenengo Guda. What is there for us to celebrate? Tell me, catch him there, Rollins, sir. Because the entire 19 years, also, he was the first to interview Rollins.
Yeah.
In 1979 for GBC and the BBC and other international media. And then in 1991, when he came back.
81.
No, 1981. Yeah, when he came back after torpedoing Liman's administration. He was again the first to interview him, and then after in 1982, a friend man, Oba Sahifa, which barracks? The Gonda Barracks, to come and take over as the chair of vetting BBB from a certain flight something. Right from that day, account no Kwame Odama Bapim Rollins, Ofia Bem, Emma NDC subsequent headed by Professor Mills and True. So I am asking this question there. Sender Omampainda da Kenengo Guda. Eba atin ye jadu kedo. Pepe Oba no abosom. Osana impo yin sumen, osinara no yin direction. And quite surprising, Kwame. This is the man who founded, and by the account, Ebaka de Bibi, Dr. Obeda Samwa, the Step the Honest Net. And Mokade, NDC did not have a founder, but they had founding fathers.
Yeah.
In Mimpa, Abayatia, Kwamna no, we don't have founding fathers, we have a founder. Na Mawaka Baina, Pape, Nijuma, Wedi, and the NDC Jinado. In fact, NDC manifesto, they tell you it is steeped in the principles of probity and accountability all the way to 1979. For them as an entity today, it was Rollins. As some of them, Kwame, as some of them, so in some of the paper that what to date, it's been over 2-3 weeks since this book was. I don't know whether it's been officially launched.
Yeah, why launch?
Why launch? Yes. The presidential candidate. Amazing. That yes, we have perused this book. It's a good effort on the part of the professor to want to put his experiences together, but we do not see this book as a good, as the best reflection of the events from our perspective. At least,
the presidential candidate.
Kwame,
is he obliged?
Kwame, why not? Because see, it is this train, the train. And when the vice presidential candidate, when she did the forward, that it was a 3-way train. The man Rollins was the subject matter, the author, and then beneath it the state Ghana. It's one that is inseparable. It's one that is because that is the train that has brought them this far, and you seek to lead. You led it. You brought them into a ditch. You seek to lead that train. Kwame Asaba Wabe. It is about your very, very foundation. Your foundation.
Now, everybody know book more so damn.
Oh, Kwame. I mean, not to even that may be full from, but I can't see, I can't get my head around it there. Oman Pena, Osho Maina do. Na Oyada Oni Bibi Woni Wado. See, that alone, Kwame, breaks Rollins into smithereens, into pieces, in a manner that he only will go to cabinet where the highest and the deepest decisions are made, and he will only go there and then be playing with his toy planes. Toy planes. More could do Kwame no play toy planes. Joe, you don't get him with. On yet I will get him. See, Tama Gdo Cookies. My Ogu name toy.
Charlie, I'm a marker, my boy.
Come is back home.
Okay, but marker, me little boy.
I got Professor Gwabna.
Who namesake?
I'm control.
I say, who?
No, I tell you, the Mahua, a cabinet was watch a man was what could be. What can I says I have a hotel. Okay, fine. Then my child will. Come for 19 solid years. 19 solid years. This is what an insider comes to tell us. That if it was even one occasion, if it was say 2 occasions, Professor Kwamna is he telling us there for the 19-year period now, no, your chairman or your president, all he did at cabinet was playing with his toy planes.
But there are several other things in there beyond that.
Kwame, several other things. No matter how good they may be, no matter how praising they may be, no matter what, it don't matter. And see, when so no be you. Also a man for way better do a queer wa for do sikaria na nikika kan o man puntu na and yet you go to cabinet, all you do is be playing with your toy planes. Enti onya de kase emma obi a say siara onu no di party nanyim. Are we then taking the silence to mean approval, endorsement?
I can't party nanyim. Rollins is not on the ballot anyway. And you know the party name say it's a big deal. How about that?
Oh, I see. But see, Kwame,
me too.
Oh yeah, consistent effort. Bakai, oh yeah, general secretary.
It's here in Kitty.
I said to get her. Kwame, Bakai, dog there. We have tamed the backing dog. Down here, and Kofubia, Wakasama. Or your president, former president Mama, in and out. Kofubia Wakasaman, very vociferous. Akuba, what to make the champagne for our war mine, in and out. Now, Kwame says, I should a president Mama, okay, Mammy, Neshe. And from me, Kwame, in Quaya, what to manufu, what it's a home. Nashamosa was so one would just see President John Rollins. Nobody should tell you there. Look, there is an hidden agenda. On hidden agenda, that look, the earlier we do that and clearly get this man off our way, the better for us so that we get focus. Sadam Lord is well and good. No, Mayadi. Na Makade. Oh, yeah, former President Mama. Oh, yeah, the ma on Fonko. Na Kwame. What's the say? You wouldn't have banka. Now, watch your Nishua. Or did you young?
And you're not banka.
Eh, also, now here, Moya blood relations now. Quite not today. In Casa. Hamato Gachina shop a pra. The blood link in Kwame, did you young? No be that body. Under his auspices. But the deputy minister, the substantive minister. And by the same party, one more opportunity. My running mate, that vice president. Party now, Papa to win on the president. Now, Kwame walk ahead of me 7.5 and 1. What is the big deal? The big deal here is only that he fully endorses it, that it is a grand plan, but Kwame Nkrumah in a very subtle way, in a way reveal there. Look, the earlier we take this man off our way as an obstruction, so that we have a full hold on this party.
But is Rawlings an obstruction?
Oh, check Kwame, what I there. They expect there in your man paying a kufa Dubai. In the Chanan Sinodo, brain. A kufa in Jordan, no Rawlings or Bonetti. And they are not seeing him do that. And one there, somehow, he's showing a certain level of disloyalty to the NDC, and you may even extend it there on your MPP, on man paying a kufado, on your Shubum. That one is a common place. That's what all of them, I mean, behind the scenes, that's what they say. That is what they say. And see, somehow some of them do not even longer see him as a reliable person, as somebody who seeks the interest of the NDC. Behind the scenes, Kwame, you can't want some as politicians. Yes, they tell you. See, oh yeah, the book here by Yamina Dum. Many for you saw the twitching. Oh yeah, my President Rawlings soon as be prepared. No, I'm not near black. Professor Kwame for you.
This was his look in the revolutionary days, I'm sure you remember.
And they say,
and
they say, President Rawlings on no white one. Now,
anyway,
my last one, maybe on the first leg. Kokrokoo vows to expose elements who spew rubbish by JJ. All of these, Kwame, go to further widen the schism. Now, there are many who are asking, and it's quite important. There is a Wonyobu, Oya, chairman of the Council of Elders, our Volta region. Owura, Magafa Bokweku. Owura Dan Agbadakwi.
I'll put the
I'm asking you correct one.
Yeah, this in Kweku is
Kweku is the John Wempo. You break here on where. Kwame, in his epistle, immediately fired to Professor Kwame Nkrumah. Because all of this is intended to obfuscate the legacy of President Rawlings. Now, they will resist with their last drop of blood. Now, the Massamia Kokrokoo, I don't know what came, or a deep seated. Now, or a reflection of NDC Nankasa, and especially President Mama, and we breed war to bring division between sections of our society. Kwame, Mangasa will be saying no in there. Says the agenda of taking President Rawlings out of the way without kufum, even to take a major grouping. Oh yeah, Kwame, I am only reflecting and telling you behind the scenes what they tell us. They will or even from the leadership will vote cry if they have not already done that.
Nanche leadership what to about normal?
Kwame, yeah.
Nanche damana abudakwi no kwade want to abaman want to
MPP. And this is the year here campaign, the year in some kekaya you need to do a certain engineering. Politics perception and Kwame. Sometimes perception are very, very biting than what is real. Tell real don't waste. The perception against grounds on yada waste, but a man who they rumor it around, they spread it that them groupie, them what it. Perception can be like a wild bushfire. You do some engineering. A back there what to have a way war or trade fair. Asama, then woman organizer. She was one of the women organizer, became, I think, one of the vices.
Anita Disoso.
Asama kind there. Now you have succeeded in taking Volta region out of the leadership. Says Yan, if there was more communication no crime. Kwame, me, let me come. Kwame, let me go. Free, or you think I saw quick. No way through so, Sabata don't need that coffee. It can't someone fata. Papa. It's why my association with this big program and your good self, your venerable self. Kwame Metaha as someone you come ma about the good before the communication setup they have today. Before you had the Kobefiabes, these others. And now it is a whole expression of the national identity of the NDC. Says I'm also working me there. Akaya Obi na the boys. Obi na the boys. The talk behind the scenes in there, it's a grand agenda. Kokumina, they see them as the devil incarnate. They see Koku Aindoho today as a devil incarnate. That he is somebody who does not wish the NDC well. Not in the least. Internet sign will be na mayese on there. And mawesi mawabe and some all could be. We must see a certain level of leadership. Leadership in the presidential candidate. Leadership in the leadership of the party. Why is he? Now, yes, how it eventually pans out. Kwame, I'm not duma. Menya copy. Miya mamu office. Mukaya mamu we masamu befia. I had at least 2-3 chapters be mucha. Order he intend to ma mutu mugba papa order ma. A person I am watching no my man young. Radin bro. When you also asaba drubi. Kwame ya but chala you show ye. And that's what catch a child right. No, they won by force. And we are if you also mama numa. No, I saw what's also the fast coin. What's who? What's the women are coming? Who are son of Jawda? Ipa from papa. It's Mukwa column there, or I thought intent the entire global picture. A cheer by the show, would I?
Now said, oh, toys. Some messages here. Kwesi Reynolds in Agona Dobain says the attacks on Rawlings relative to the book authored by Professor Ho is unfortunate and must be condemned by the leadership of the NDC. Chairman Rawlings may have his flaws, but for someone he nurtured to come out to demonize him is amazing. Kwame, good morning to you and your panelists. Do you remember what Alote Jacob said before he stopped coming onto your show? He said there's something called Agenda 2024. Could it be the purpose of launching the book? Do the Ahoys have an Agenda 2024? Mahama is finished. Amadou Alassane, Czech Republic. Tell Yera Kwamna Duncan that as a Fanti, he should pronounce the town correctly as Muire, not Muri. Nane Siedubois for the second, Sankubasi Tiwa District. Muire. Moire. Okay, I have no problem with the fact that my good old professor wrote the foreword of this book. She was not cajoled into this venture, I believe. I want to ask, 1, would she have written the foreword if she knew she would be a vice presidential candidate? 2, why the release of this book at this crucial time as it concerns Esikado Ketan constituency? Kwamna Duncan doesn't greet the NDC headquarters again. Why? Kwame Amo from La Paz.
Only your first face.
Okay. Professor Hoy's admission that Rawlings had no plan or direction for Ghana has confirmed Kweku Bako's criticism of Rawlings' government. Kweku Bako should be renamed Media Prophet or Dame Harrison. Buki the Assembly Bape Fawaz it Amasamang sent that one in. How I wish Alote Jacobs would have been in your studio for today's discussion. Both in Dansman. Charles, in Pracho Brem, what can it be?
General.
Minia.
And I pay me chow.
Yeah, Joso?
I signed chair at T4 after 4.
Yeah, Joso.
And then Wednesday.
And I shall for me.
And
Facebook.
Social media.
And then Wednesday.
Quada.
And then so and yes, sir.
We
record you free and then in 40 days.
Oh, no.
American chair minister ne Erokwesi
Kweku
Bako. Kwesi de nam no last week in the woman. When you say omuna na mo something to do with Orasa John. I am confirm. Minister de benena na ntia chakakra. Anye is a chairman.
Yeah.
Yami fa the currency.
Amen.
Ora Kofi Abraham. Professor Kofi Abraham or a musician. Or say any palm and any bedroom and a we. Indeed, Sir John, you will be an dream. From the president, the vice president, the chief of staff, rested in Katia, Kokrokoo, and you do. Now, when Kokrokoo, you know your name, I want to say. Now, or back 5 a.m. So, over here, Sir John.
Kokrokoo, and you do.
Yes, now, or sometimes 5-6 times a day. Say, opposite in any huno. Uraya don't conum. Rested in Katia, Obibia, and a paye na yen shedding, especially would do for do baby night, my friend would do yame, because now would do any who say, or ye will do assassin so yame.
Peace and
family. Near the phone, Yamaho Yako.
Amen.
Yes, but the Yamias, Chaman. So some say, man propose, a nipa a drink a share. If you should say pay biaba, but when you mean a money bombs are to be a say at this time, Quatuaba, just about barely 3 months to elections. Nabuku, if you buy, Nina Kahubi. But ever Kakaya, chasing an elephant into the bush.
Make up,
yeah. A depan satis off one, sir. Sana, Yahuno, Satiso. To Pennyforce, oh, we are for sir, no, I won't say ye. A Kaiser, I'm on your summer, ye. Abras, I book you betuja. Now share the other side, and this is for far bookie. And summer, if you move by any, and some more kaya. And then, me person me tio when I'm here in some back for bookie is some. Sir, Omujitum and Omunitum. I mean, the woman, I'm person is shaving free.
I don't need any.
Men and I catch him says, "Oh, can't tam chef for moi, a BP." And I say, "You would to from work, some magua, a very pea." Yes, I will a bear, as I can say, a dime was soon.
Walls have ears.
Yes, a chest, the year was as you see, a nipa, you know, much air copper, air copper, you know. The air, you know, more few. And the fact said, and they will drive on and I'm saying, on a drive, will not, or slow tea. Now, or Koya will be in a dinty, and just a near my way on her. It's a treatment I would demand. So, would teach in a year, and I won't teach ye. All right. I'm ready to do. I'm what dinner, or dinner one, and near my a hint of Sumasina, a bit Pia one thing. Okay, and few more, a bit more. They live with their houseboys, house girls, cleaners. Sabi a treaty of dogs, crab better than in Nipa now, no, because I get about. But I'm really be soon. And near man, oh, yeah, who ya a hint of Sumasano, a bit Pia Babonting. Said I see your cabinet at the time, you know, you and I,
David,
young hobby. And who should say, near drain is a porting Susiana or Musufa or my own, and the quiet on Fasodi or my dear grow, and your mighty boy, and any hobby. But I know who in a pantoma. A bit about one thing, a young woman, so we be deny, and the young woman said, or we be deny, said Sabi, on the baby with sharp teeth, and also, or dear bang. I am those deniers will come. But there were anyamentum, any braba yebo. And then the hoots as a try you move, but or try him. And I'm on your four. One when you debia or my mu esum or mine and you're careful. I said the Bible can see it just any people preoccuped no which at him or I buy money pants and go see you. One day, said your comuna sana wedding, Ubi. Because even the president of the land in the ground, Yamra Palma and one said, in film watching which you how much more an appointee of the government? You're quite by some of mine. Yes, some of your home rather. No money, yes, some. But a minor coin a day, a minor coin a day, but maybe not quite, you beat him just some of mine. And I am on yourself. Dear Rollins Bay, dear Rollins India, dear Mahama Becca, dear Mahamanka. And Kobe Babies, I said, you. I didn't think I kind who were Kwame, Professor Hoy. I didn't think by this time, what is I didn't have trouble. Didn't I come about one?
I know about Tony Susan and Bennett.
Susan, so, Chairman, about any event, a process. Event in the year, die, a trouble. I know when you meet a sra. O sini hini anse atoba nye ye betoba no sini hini and niema bi se esisi na etimi ma onyame adwempo ne timpo no ebam. NDC has lost the elections already.
Why?
Oh chairman niema ina daddy me die me onyame afa me ni nipa afa ti onyame achusu no na fa na me wo. And definitely elections no ya to awie and niema we be ka ho bi na aba blame games aba nipa ya brabo mu sir because ye ntimi nko blame nyankopon ntini de beba say BBC na sobo a de bebo nyame ne de abo nipa amana yeye nti eba ayi mate atem de dia ekoso obi o devil ne onye devil de opeso gu mahama anima so opeso gu mahama anima sabi mu misa asem kakra se Ghana it is sabi ye refi ho ana chairman so kai kantamanto ayi amiko hu amika che last almost about 4 years ago. You do a maybe or my one now call barbering shop and will be a kuta cap. A check, you could be a because we tell you have a winner light off. And I just offer share a chance on the field because you who start our career over field. Where in this country and an uncovered piece of from not to a crowd everywhere. Can't afford your money. Me nya book asem Ghana afford your money. Me no ka say na ka bank si ho chama wo fa osika o nim say bank bi si wa o de osika kwa wo but na dan kon si ho had not been this government until me tisa nkofo ka say si aban bi aba begu banks a no be say where are they coming from ona mo go kroba yi say me ma ya adwuma nya misika me de koto bank but dan na o de koto mo o de man na o de koto estate house na o de ko sidan and you have a booklet that osika ewom but bank dan ankasa de esi wo kwa. This is the country near what Emrebia Etchem Kakrabi. And then Kora Eco School in Ghana for some Muyana. Sir, a Mofrado Duana and a good Montinson and your quine Eco School. A woman said, I buy out my Obampani Mahama, Sabi Unibrechem, and the breast will tremor, and maybe the pencil. Men Casa when you be a more my you, but on mine up Braboni a book and your bonquechi. Zana Braboti, Obian who Barbara Boss and Conachida, but yet the sure dear free a cheap acquired and the sure be free, you see, and no record for the time. Matter says, think of 4 bompire, yes, Yamias of Woman Chaman away. Says your money more day. And no correct. Nancy, that's what your offering was on them. And I go so far and call bompires or money more day. And the Yamaji or mining free are by means and family before from Nanka, sorry, so Nanka, what and any offering, and you tight. Because the Nippon I want my woman about sorry, no be about. Here in the Yama Yosama, if another uncle for the not buying a bonia, Chaman, me means Susan Kamasum. Why? Because I mind soon, I yes. And to me, I don't see say book no ever back and they win ever my work for. No, I don't see it.
But NDC.
NDC, they have lost. Didn't go to that. How nobody go?
Something to me, can
I don't know you're in opposition already.
Yeah, but say I'm more praise on my Samba.
Oh, Kubenso. Come on, say. Chama, again, the Egyptians will have more back. There has to be basis.
I can't compare.
And dear Ben, the Egyptians will control by more Muhammad Naba. And this as a party is not bad. But I'm saying leadership with Owura John Dramani Mahama. I didn't even say for man to me. I didn't buy the angle. Chairman, no question me any moment can occur. With all respect to Owura Mahama. I better be this again for Kokrokoo about Owura Mahama.
Mami, when break time, go back to the book.
Me book no so.
Me ba na di why AOB amami.
Chama what you say? Me the book no hu sama e ka no. Aya de papa. Na me phone so say more books should come, not from only the NDC, from the NPP, from all the other sides. Say ye na ye ye ba se say no mofra na ye ba no. We be susu dia dia amaye ye di aboyembra. Say nya kwan say ba besom oman a o kwan bia so. Because the ye can shop kokoo mu no. Ye can shop fam no. Ye ni suni ye ban no. Obi wo ha, me na kan say bi kire me chairman. Wasu timi ni obi ko ba bi na wasan ba na wonim. That's not in the name. Yani many Owura minister any Uncle Kwakutia say. You bet me di nkoma sere but obi atim de minim obi obi atim. Enti se oni obi kan sam, oni obi ye niema bia. Na wadwen asunsunsanso e beba woni padua no so. Yen sunsanso e beba yen so. Ayade ehu hia pa. And a bonnia ye tie nipa, ye careful. We are human beings. Na so di ba bi na ye bonnia tia ye hu nipa. Ye nwi se emire bi bepa. Amate bu na sada. And now some phone and go to them so kiki. I think say binim nya Owura Professor Ahoya. The besi nya papa. We say o ma dwen say eniema nanka asi osumase no. Wakopa ho ntoma mena den amana ba. And it shows say onyame ene di o man so. Onyame ene di via so. Odi wan kasa so. And at a point in time no ade bia wo ye bia na ehun sunsanso ene ehun asudie ebeba.
Peace FM.
Maybe as for say sabi Owura Rollins here NDC for be money be respecting and I'm respecting. O mama sam. I say pupo bo ni nsuo. Say dey yi na kwato nsuo nchan ba bia. O mama sam. But yes penny oni hwe ka oba ya chewo shaman. Me Owura so John akache mo say dey penny etifam obehu no furu yakra wo. And then kola mo fura ya ba yi adwen say utimi kinkan timi enya kwan kasa. You have the power to insult. Obetimi didi obi atem. Ya yamane ni yamamre kra nkyere yensa. Yamamre ani yamane. Ya fa Kristo so mma wo. Amamre ni yamane nkyere yensa yi nim panifo atem. Wo de ba Kristo ani Muslimi so muso a Bible ka kyere yensa yemfa nidie ema ye papa no nti wo se di wagya ne wonani na wo nkwa na awasase so wagya enkyere se de owo obi bia wo no papa ye pa obetima wo bia wo wagya obi so kra wo a go beyond o papa timi ye wona na ma ne yeye para na amanyo semti obi timi gbegina fidi achi na wadidi obi obetima ne nana di nana wo di na tem cause amanyo semti wo nkwa na wo se na ye nkwa na aware ege say wo di pani atem bia wo nkwa na na den o ti so ba ye won sa meka na bia mitum rantia fo sa me se etia fidie na chi a ye kasa ye kafise kasa ma ye ho ye kasa kire afofo ye kasa kire ni ba wa bonten dodo na etie nti kasa efiri emu ba no e na kire ye nipa ye ko cho sam say de ko ye mu emu ye hu fi ba de efiri emu ba nti de efiri mu ba isna be ma hu chaso usu nipa wa ye because shame say chaso usu amina ma makama no atum. A person like me who huda just be be man weden e kasa nti etimi kasa abrantie sabe ne ho fe pa o abrantie obosi pa but ne numu kasa enye de ana ne numu kasa enye papa e go hu fi which is not good enti atabidie ye didi mpanimfo enye ade papa say Owura Mahama o say Owura Kufado say panimu bia ye wo man mu say wo I mean position of government and say only sa position kwa mama ye nche ya dwen fa ade a wa ye ho efi say de nya adwen a we ne yi anka betima yi nya atedidie but chairman ye ko so man mu no say wo as a host na wo so wo ye nipa na wo adwen a wo kire wadwen kwara na obi tiwa wo se menti ase the only response of it in the amount say chairman the all kind of no nya adwen ma dwen kire mse ne atedidie even the better I say, oh, go ahead, seven messages I hold one for
Baby.
go for who disagree with that, no. Not just disagreement, but I attend the day. What you say, one you say, me feel say you're chichiri or mine. Now, on my chichiri, a Ghana, me chichiri. Who share this in here? One cast in this now, who do? I just own him physically. Who share people here? One cast in people here, who do? And this I yet say, oh, my moon. Now, if I say a deal, mine could do pensubia. Maintain that, so could be so, or may be so. I did him the deity much of my idea, I'm a ye the boom my home, nay, since you are near my free and way on one. You bet him up, boy, I'm yet my boy, I'm acquainting. So we should respect our leaders. Now, and now, Sabi, Oracle for the choices here. I got a full subine. Even within this party, Nipa money I do not come not to. Let him leave power. Overthink of one. But I believe that we shouldn't be that. I see a timid in part time, a brian in the even in power, even in government. And now any person who have been was about say, me nipa and forming and from so woman. And to me, yes, I be concourse and was here. Near my home, quiet my 23 because other than that, I know be at Macau, so I can answer. Hey, me go kind of manual, you never go bombing. And see, I'm at the Amabri air course various institutions, various homes. Papa ne yire hotel, why no can be. And to bear mouth, I want to ban and the money never read them. And so on the money chiefy. All those things are near my get a bad one thing, and a be high in a society. And he say, your Bob Brown Papa Nidia. Chama, yes, so what positions I hold on soon. Around this time, I come was me, hey, me who born dog. Old man, Chihuahua, which man Casamana, Obia cannot because Oga Abba, Oga Casa being Casa. Say, would you go and pay trouble? And into I say, yes, to me, Unia Media, that's it.
To me, Unia Media. Charles,
before a small portion. I can't work at Central Fianoma.
Yeah. There's a description there.
Professor, yes. Also, he can be domineering, vindictive, and fearsome. The nearest analogy, even though they had done description up before this, the nearest analogy will be the Akan proverb about the bird Santrofi or Niger in English, belonging to the family Capromegidae, which proverb states that Santrofi anuma ochena wachimusu ujana weja ade atanya ze bakre echena achimusu ijana ejeade. That is how that is how he describes Rawlings.
We'll come to that. Kwame, all this while we thought Rawlings was running the country, he was playing with toys, planes, and using the table as a landing strip. This is a classic example of Ghanaians play too much. Good morning, CG. Della Maxi Adafienum Volta Region. Aloto Jacobs is vindicated, and it's terrible how Oyefo is right around your leg, but you can't see to arrest it. Kwame Nahoy was clear on Joy News that he is not for Mahama and Jane, but Mahama has learned his lessons and will be a good president going forward. Please bring back Alote Jacobs. Nana Ansel Beaufort, Director of Communications, MPP UK. I'll say of the truth, Rawlings made Kwame Nahoy. Was he not the coordinator of the following committees: Citizen Vetting Committee, National Investigative Committee, Confiscated Assets Disposal Committee during the days of the PNDC? Kwame, who confiscated international tobacco belonging to B.A. Mensah? Did they capture that in their book? Interesting days coming. Nana Hesi Ojiri. Why is this book focusing on the negatives of Rawlings? What work did he, Ahoy, do himself? Your panelists are right. This book has ill motives by all standards. I don't understand why every mistake is blamed on Rawlings, the man who made Ahoy what he is today. The book has come out at a very bad time in Ghana's politics. Mad Lion, Ahafu Shidium. Psychological assertiveness and traumatic reasons gives the young ones the power to insult and disrespect authority. Alo, Akwesi. Didn't Professor Nana Jane discuss with Professor Ahoy when the book was going to be released? Before writing the foreword, Agenda 2024 is beckoning. To unravel the hidden agenda of Professor Kwame Nahoy, the supremo of the CVC in the heady days of the PNDC, one must go back to the abandoned partisan DC elections. All the NDC parliamentary caucus agreed and signed up to the MPP-sponsored partisan MMDC elections. From nowhere, the touted expert of local governance, Kwame Nahoy, popped up and put a spanner in the work. This is the hidden agenda by the Ahoys. Sortis Child says so. 0244-844-488. And then this one says, the NDC is still quoting some portions of Dr. Arthur Kennedy's book, Chasing the Elephant into the Bush. KSK. The babies with sharp teeth have affirmed their behavior evidentially. Kwejo Edupako Achim assume sends that one. And then this one also says, Cho, Avasuboro. Okay. There's one here that says, would the NDC have accepted the candidacy of Prof if the book had been launched earlier? Kwesi in Takrade is asking that question. Anyway, Kweku Bachobrim.
Yeah, right. Mr. Ahoy ni booking.
Yeah.
And the reports. Kwame.
Kweku.
I listed my timing. I'm the last week me can't crawl. Mr. Kwame Ahoy, a very strategic mind. Make no mistake about it. At least me personally.
Very strategic mind.
Yes, I think so. Very intelligent. So that man can last week. I have huge respect for the political experience, the intellectual prowess. But say, as an outsider, say me an objective assessment of the timing. It was a strategic miscalculation.
Strategic miscalculation.
Yes, from a strategic mind.
Ebenta.
Say NDC near, you feel very uncomfortable with the contents of this book, particularly the timing of its release. It's an election campaign season, and out there is a political opposition to the NDC in varied forms, including the ruling NPP. And it may blame any political analyst or animal or activist or politician who decides to capitalize on inadequacies or controversial portions and things of the book and play with it. This is a free space, a democratic space. Whereas within the party there are elements that were uncomfortable, and some have expressed discomfort already. I'm the youth wing B, Voter Caucus B, all sorts of groups known to be NDC, either members or sympathizers. It is not any rocket science. If the people within the party will feel uncomfortable. In terms of Kwame,
yes,
the forward, Madam Nana Opokwa-Champo has been Opokwa-Agyemang has been brought in as Inima. Yes, from a professional point of view, from a purely literary, intellectual point of view, there's absolutely nothing wrong with her penning the forward on its own. But unfortunately, no. The same point I'm making, or a CC or a politician, or a former minister of education, indeed, say, while nominating and selecting as running mate, perhaps the impact is of negligible value. Nobody perhaps grab or share a hope. But once, while elevating to the status of a running mate, coupled with the father now a former minister in that Mahama administration, and that we are within an election campaign season, especially the opposition to the NDC, will look at that critically and seek to know what advantage Obutu will play, and that's exactly what is playing out. This is politics. say it restricted to just the forward nekeka. It's a no big deal. But call acknowledgements. We are sure they will copy of the book.
When I only be my hand.
Also, I mean the matter bear 6 supply.
That's right.
Because not there out of mischief. Some
People were asking,
people are asking, and I need to do a little bit. In time, I say, Tia, I'm contributing to your cash swelling of your bank account. Of course, me were three left, not in a spare.
I know the Obasan.
But still, if we them spread word,
I'm going to cash.
And here it's Obama Pam's card. Kwame.
Yeah.
Echo page, acknowledgements. Me read 2 paragraphs. Also, the book was reviewed by 6 reviewers who must be acknowledged with gratitude. So you move from a Biotro forward to 6 reviewers. First one listed, Professor Mrs. Nana Jane Opoku Agyeman, Minister of Education under President John Dramani Mahama, and Ghana's first female Vice Chancellor of a public university, did a yeoman's job of reading through the entire manuscript and reviewing the contents, paying particular attention to editorial and grammatical detail. She claims that the manuscript was her education, quote unquote, on politics, and I'm grateful that she adjudged it publishable. I also thank Professor Nana for graciously accepting to write the foreword to the book. In 2 rows.
Papa.
Apart from writing the foreword,
She was the editor.
she was virtually a reviewer. I want to be precise.
Reviewer.
Use the kind of words used by the author. One of the 6. Into any role relative to this book goes beyond merely writing a foreword. She had the advantage of going through the entire manuscript, playing the role of an editor and a reviewer at the same time. So there's nothing in this book that she didn't know about, even though also any education on politics. And last week I made a point there, because if you are not a card-bearing member of the party, coming in more analysis be about it. I consider to Kwamra's position eventually. But the point really is that, quote unquote, in context, Ghanaian political history or a political new fight of a sort. And I don't say this, I'm not saying this in a malicious way. I have huge respect for her. We need to keep her dignity intact. But clearly, this is the role she played. Now, I'm prepared to concede, even though still the point will be made. Read Mr. Ahoy's acknowledgement. He signed it off October 2019. In time there, by that time, the book and I read. And I'm a boy.
Yeah, if I read your
one can safely say so. But it's so close to elections year, so October 2019 to 2020, or I guess some 2-3 months. So still, that strategic calculation ought to have been factored in. If there are fallouts, Madame Opoku Agyeman, because of her status now as a running mate and now a member of the party, whatever collateral repercussions, Kwame, she cannot avoid them. Church Mercy. The political opposition will take advantage of the situation. They will drag her in. The genuinely or not is immaterial. It will have the effect that it should have. On any party, for some are not happy, even though truly the person who must take the full blame is the author of the paper. But collateral repercussions also were affected. Now, Kwame, You go beyond these ones, which I consider preliminary and just, the politics of it. And because the kind of democracy, multi-party, I into me avoid, it's okay. But to me, waste too much time on those things. I leave that to or maybe one time they'll do it. And like they used Kennedy in the book, where you photocopies, what they call all over the place. In fact, last week, this is a diversion, allow. Email from Kennedy.
Oh, I see.
Because may comment be about the integrity of males having been soiled by the point there. He didn't want so-called corrupt MPP officials prosecuted. It's part of the book, which it appears though the NDC will believe to a large extent. I made that point and thought that was a fallacy. In fact, he sent me a very nice email, and I'm following the trail he gave me. There was one event to be organized under also CDD. Mr. Mahama were the speakers, and he made points about that, about the corruption, to impress corruption and all those things. And President Mahama, then of course not president,
but vice president.
Yeah, that I don't remember. Or let me share it. You may need me share timelines, but more kind of important. Until me following there, President Mahama decided that based on no attack Kennedy presentation in see, they prepare speech in the crowd, a tone change, and then dealt with the issue and said that yes, the problem between Rawlings and Mills was that matter. And the Rawlings thought that, look, just capture them. Arrest them, put them out there, try them, and Mills he can't do that. This is a democracy. You just can't get up and arrest people and charge them and prosecute them anyhow. So, in a way, he was asking me to look for those publications or event we see. And I'm kind of fine. Maybe there could be some element there, but I still stand by the point that there were MPP elements who were put on trial, nonetheless, and the court discharged and acquitted them. It's a very if you make an absolute
about 22 cases
if you make an absolute out of the criminal theory now, and it's not only criminal theory. If you book a black ammonia says the same thing, if you make an absolute out of it, then it becomes a fallacy, because evidential value behind him, evidence on the ground will show that some were subjected to trials, charges and all that. Now the substance of the book, and and that has been a bad habit I have. If I search books, me read from page 1 to the last.
You read bits and pieces. And then social media, and I say, well, why am flash? What's page so and so? What can done to one of a book, Namako page? It's a very bad habit. So I'm not doing a comprehensive reading or scrutiny of this book. I may end up reading all, but I'm jumping. Now, two in Yama me deal with today, Kwame. It's very interesting. There's a page, page 136. Also, 2 governance aberrations. Two now or citing a waste management contract to be Ediana Sabakaya. Court and Ankasa Wakamubuki. And then the other one is the demolition of the Pier Hotel. Damn know what word pronounced. That's right.
Pier. Very interesting. Very, very, very interesting. So hold on there. Week by week, if you give us the opportunity to review this book, the Bama Faber too. My deal with them. Now, I find it interesting. May start with the waste management one. Mr. Hoy tells us the company, the joint Canadian venture company, Country Waste Limited. Also,
City and Country Waste.
Yes, owned partly. May read from the book. Owned partly by Mr. Eddie Annan. A known NDC financier and a close friend and confidant of President Rawlings and his wife. Then they call Page B said, meanwhile, I was under intense pressure from President Rawlings, who I suspect was himself under intense pressure from Mr. Annan to authorize the MCU of the Accra Metropolis, Nat Nunuma Amatefu, who was later replaced by Mr. Ishmael Ayite, to sign the contract. When President Rawlings realized that I would not give the authorization until I had finished with my consultations and checks, and seeing that this was going to result in considerable delay, he went behind me and directly ordered Mr. Ishmael Ayite to sign the contract. Mr. Ayite did. Then he talks about when the MPP came into office, the contract was abrogated. It ended up in the Supreme Court and things.
But he ended up in court and Mr. Annan won.
Yes, he says that it became a judgment debt.
Yeah.
And I think it was paid during the mails.
And now you also see the AMA boss.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yes, you are right. I found something interesting when I was going through my records, Kwame, and it confirms Mr. Ahoy's account relative to the pressure that was mounted on him by Rawlings. It confirms. It's interesting. May go through my file and me statement or a serious fraud office or file or document. It's dated first day of September 2001.
Okay.
Name Nat Nunu Amatefu, P.O. Boss so and so and so, occupation architect, Ghana, native of Ghana, Badi. A very explosive document. Very, very explosive. Bare 5 pages. Me to me read linear for time. But may pick some aspects which would indicate that indeed there was serious pressure from Mr. Rawlings, Mrs. Rawlings, Mr. Dianan, and others on Nat Nunu Amatefu to sign the contract regardless of the unfavorable terms.
So that is what vindicates Kwame Ahoy's position.
His account of this particular thing is authenticated by
Nat Nunu Amatefu.
Yes. Now, Kwame, because you need time in tea, I will main for 1-2 aspects.
Me too.
Mami time. Also, in view of all the concerns, it became the strategy of my office, that is AMA, to drag out the negotiations as long as possible in the hope that it will fizzle out the way many other projects had. From the beginning, Mr. Annan put up a good deal of pressure on me to quickly accede to the terms and conditions of the proposals. We repeatedly made known to him, either directly or through his representatives, our concerns and disagreements. He reported this to the former First Lady, Nana Kunedu Rawlings. She occasionally invited me to her office to complain angrily of our alleged resistance to the golden opportunity to rid Accra of filth. Then it was a waste management thing for all time. As the negotiations dragged out, her complaints became more angry and personal. Rumors were spread that both Mr. Nati and Mr. Ama, they were his assistants, were secret opposition members who were committed to sabotaging the efforts of government. Threats were made about our future employment. She adamantly refused to listen to our concerns about the financial viability of the project. We continue to discuss the matter with with the Ministry of Local Government, that's Finance Ministry, the sector minister and his chief director about the contract, and they showed concerns coinciding with our position as well. So you see, Kwame was right. He had problems with this whole project. I was trying to persuade the president. But me read the some time. Also, by November 1997, we still had not signed the various contracts. we were still holding out in the hope of getting more favorable terms. At the end of November, Mr. Annan called me and informed me that the CEO of Shannon, the Canadian company, will be in Accra the following week to sign the contract. I protested that the AMA still had outstanding issues that needed to be sorted out before we could sign the documents. A few days later, I received a visit from the then Minister of Interior, Mr. Okaija Adamafiu. He arrived in my house around 9 p.m. He informed me that he had a meeting with the President earlier that afternoon, and that President Rawlings had expressed his unhappiness at my reluctance to sign a contract. He said that the President was about to embark on an overseas trip, and I requested him to tell me that I was to sign the contract before his return, or face the consequences. I explained to him the problems with the contract. He listened patiently and advised me that in view of the President's mood, I should at least sign the papers and find a way to rectify this anomaly later. Early the following morning, I was summoned to the castle to meet the former Vice President, John Atta Mills. He gave me the same message as the former Minister of Interior had done, and relayed the executive instructions of the ex-president that I should ensure that the contract was signed before his return. I gave him the same explanations I had given the Minister of Interior. He demanded to see copies of the contract and advised that I should comply with the President's instruction by signing the contract, and afterwards ways will be found to address my concerns. The following day, I was once more summoned to the castle. This time, I was to meet Mr. Jimmy Emisa,
of course,
who was with the office of the President.
Wow.
I met Mr. Emisa in his office, where he was in the company of Captain Isobontin. Captain Isobontin was at that time an aide to the First Lady, Nana Kunedu Ajimai Rawlings.
Naval Captain Isobontin.
Exactly. Mr. Emisa informed me that he had a message for me from the President, and that for the purposes of confirmation, that I had received the message. The President had instructed that Captain Isobontin should be present at our meeting. Mr. Emisa gave me the same message that the Vice President and the Minister of Interior had given me, plus one further instruction that I should request to invite the press
to
the signing and pictures presented to the President before his return. This is signed 10th September 2001. In my candid opinion, this actually vindicates Mr. Hoy's version of the story. And there are more serious fraud office investigations where eventually ended up in Mr. Hoy Nankasa court. I'm there as a witness for the Annan's group. So that's one side. Now,
but eventually the Annan win case.
Yeah, he won. He won the court judgment. No, it was a very interesting thing. The court found the contract was illegally procured.
Yep.
That is not in tune with the procurement district tender BBB now. So they create, but then kofuna yejumani bi. So they were friendly restitution was about it. There, yes, we had agreed. We closed our eyes, entered into an illegal procurement process. We gave the contract to them. They did some work, so we owe them some monies. And then of course interest back. So they won on that level. But if you read the judgment, the contract itself was not in tune with the procurement.
So what happened?
Let me ask you quickly something.
Yeah.
What happened to the one who signed the contract?
Did Kwame Nahoy testify for Eddie Annan in court?
Yes, I think for the company. Yeah, Chano, he was Minister of Local Government. And I'm a
Chairman General, question.
It's a good question, but we need to be precise.
Amazing.
I have the judgment here. I need to go through it. But whatever it is, he was in court.
Governor Ahoy testify for Ediana.
Your research.
Chairman General's question.
Yes, but I think he testified for the ministry because the Ministry of Local Government was involved. The import of need submission or need testimony may have swayed in favor of.
Are you saying this for a fact or not?
No, Kwame, judgment no one. So
okay.
I need to go through it because
okay,
you see, when you are making such analysis, you have to be careful so that you don't say something that may hurt somebody's integrity when it is not factual.
You are right.
Yes, so I'm not going to jump to answer a question that I have not adverted my mind to. And then also, me reading judgment, watch it. So
but if you knew that would be quite instructive.
Oh, it's here, so I can check. When I go and we are going round 2, I will look at the judgment.
Well, if you want round 2, you might as well start ending now.
No, maybe with this one. Now, I mean, the other one.
Which you have exactly 5 minutes to do and we're done.
Don't waste my ears.
Your ears are wasted, so you stand wasted.
See, this one is another one.
Awesome.
The second aberration. Also, the second aberration had to do, and I'm reading from the book, had to do with the demolition of a newly constructed, fully furnished hotel owned by one Alhaji Yusuf Ibrahim in the airport area. Alhaji Yusuf Ibrahim had built his hotel, which had been rated a 4-star hotel in an area close to the airport. Important. The building had supposedly been built on a waterway. It was sited close to the private residence of Mr. Victor Beho, the Minister of Foreign Affairs, who had complained privately to me about the siting of the hotel and the fact that it was likely to cause flooding in the area during heavy rains. I had explained to him that the hotel had been completed and finished, and that my checks revealed that all the necessary approvals had been sought and obtained, and that unless money could be found to pay compensation, it will result in great financial damages if it should be pulled down. President Rawlings, and this is critical, had called me and asked me to order the AMA to pull down the hotel. I told him that it was inadvisable to pull down the hotel, but that I would get the AMA to get the owner to do something about the drainage to avert the feared flooding during the heavy rains. I woke up one morning to the news that the military had demolished the hotel. I had no evidence that the demolition was on the orders of President Rawlings, but given the antecedents of the demolition, I had my suspicions. Of course, Alhaji Yusuf Ibrahim sued, and I understand the matter pended in the courts until much later when the government reached an out-of-court settlement with Alhaji Yusuf and brought the matter to a closure.
And what government was that?
The litigation began during the Kufuor administration in court, and they then went for out-of-court settlement. But the terms of settlement, it was dragging on. The payment of the judgment debt was done under the Mills administration. Yeah.
Greg, I asked you a question.
Yes.
You weren't too sure of the answer.
Sure, I wasn't.
I'll read.
Commit myself.
And I'll read from the book. City and Country Waste Limited sued the AMA.
Have a page.
I'm still my bits and pieces
on your phone.
I'm reading from my phone.
Oh, okay.
I had to go and pull it from somewhere. City and Country Waste Limited sued the AMA, and in the case in which I gave evidence for the company,
Okay.
and which traveled all the way to the Supreme Court, City and Country Waste was awarded damages of about $17 million. The NDC government, which had returned to power at that time of the judgment in 2009, stepped in and got the judgment debt liquidated under arrangements with the District Assembly's Common Fund Administrator. End.
So, well, you see, that's why I didn't want to commit myself. But
I'm just trying to get the page on which it is, and I'll let you know.
Yes, but that's.
And I'm sure it might be around 130 something.
That brings up another significance. Very significant thing. So, Kwame, but to come back to the Pier Hotel, Sabakaya last year, Alhaji Yusuf, Olanchine autobiography, and portions had to do with this demolition. and the chino appear on Good Evening Ghana, I think with Paul
Admotre.
What can be about that? I forgive Mr. Rollins. Of course, Kwamna's view is that our suspicion, the Rollins might have been behind it because of the antecedents. Not very categorical. But Kwame, I think Rollins and Ankasa all celebrate the June 4th anniversary 2019. And he was apparently responding to Alhaji Yusuf's point there, were forgiven. Check out more kind. Rollins made a point there, if time were reversible, I would do it again and again. And I would take along their new gargantuan structures in the water courses. The structures were reported by his own respectable law-abiding neighbors. You get that point?
Yeah, neighbors, including Victor Beho.
Obviously. During that time, these rumors came up. At that time, they were like rumors. Kwamna's book shows that at least one respectable neighbor, and that man is a venerable man. I mean, nobody takes on Victor Beho's track record as a man of, stature. I mean, no doubt about it. One of our finest diplomats, international foreign service people. I mean, I don't agree with him politically where he stands.
Kwamna, you may check page 137, second paragraph.
You cannot underestimate
second paragraph.
The track record, the contribution to Ghana. But Kwame, Rollins was clear in his mind in this statement. He took personal responsibility. Also, Alhaji Ibrahim is in no position to forgive anyone or anything, not even the bush rat in his hometown. Rollins, I'm quoting him. Also, Alhaji Yusuf Ibrahim is in no position to forgive anyone or anything, not even the bush rat in his hometown. God had nothing to do with unlawful structures. Neither did we have anything to do with enforcing the law. Governments appear to exercise no restraint when it comes to breaking down poor people's structures in water courses or unauthorized areas. This is Jerry Rollins, who is taking personal responsibility for that demolition and saying that if he had the opportunity, he would do it over and over again. Now, the interesting thing there, the Minister of Defense then, and Donko,
Lieutenant Colonel E.K.T. Donko,
exactly, who was summoned to Parliament to answer an urgent question in the name of J.H. Mensah. He answered 3rd June 1999. Answered that. It's all there. Now, the minister on the floor of the House could also now tell Parliament who exactly gave the order for the Field Engineers Regiment to undertake the exercise.
Even though Field Engineers was under his ministry.
Yes, and he claimed there, AMA phone were requesting. How did the AMA request? Is it by telephone or is it by letter? And also he couldn't tell. Also it went, somebody sent a message to the army headquarters.
A guy Justice Afre.
Yes.
Also then.
Somebody up there, like the
end of story.
That's cutting. Quality grade. It's Kwame. It's interesting reading this Hansard. But subsequent to all this, the AMA and Alhaji Yusuf entered into negotiations because Yusuf sued. He went to court. There were court documents.
And he also won.
Indeed, out of court settlement.
5 million cedis or something?
Yes, he was suing for 12 million. But he ended up taking 5 million. Now, AMA documents are what they call court. AMA said they had absolutely nothing
to do with that. To do with the pulling down.
Yeah, they were not involved. Meanwhile, Kwame, and according to the wire demolition, the then AMA CEO, apparently he was at a spot. Then the story is that we were catching on coffee exhibition.
And it was at dawn.
It was at dawn.
I imagine.
With the helicopter hanging up there, the tanks, explosives being thrown left, right, center. Fridge in the air conditioning. Be crowded now one installing. One while so we here building here we was signal your brothers and sisters are working down the name of no one's work scavenging the whole place. But what you find interesting is that whilst in 1999 the defense minister was officially telling Parliament the AME were requesting, even though he couldn't pinpoint a personality at the headquarters who received the message and undertook the exercise. 2006 onwards, was a one come, and on their records there was no record anywhere there one were requesting the Ghana forces.
So who did it?
But I think now we are clear.
Okay, thank you very much.
Now we are clear because Rawlings many years later, and it was a $5 million hotel. The guy put no war forward summit to be is it homecoming or summit to be African American something.
Had booked the hotel.
If you book Ninia went down. As I'm saying, step by step.
Right, Kokrokoo.
Step by step. Every week, in my hand opportunity.
Now, am I going to discuss this book throughout?
And I said if.
If, okay. Right. If
there are some things about Kufuor too there.
We'll come to those things maybe one day. But I'm trying to before I do that. Well, this one says, happy birthday to you, Mr. Maxwell Pra, a.k.a. Kokrokoo, a.k.a. Max Z. Enjoy your birthday. And also to Mrs. Christian Adai of Pillow Talk. Happy birthday, Mom. And one to Mrs. Yvonne Nanefriye Opare of Soap and Body. And this one says, a very special thank you to Madame Jean Mensa, Mr. Tete, Dr. Bosman Asari, Dr. Srebo, Sylvia Ano, Fred Tete, Asante Kisi and Che Dodum for your numerous sacrifices from the staff of the Electoral Commission to all of you. Obisu say Otoni 4-bedroom house East Legon. Or say a kama papa 4-bedroom house East Legon into our pet a die for East Legon corner papa panum for number 0266 309675. Pacho maybe send number near thing. 0266 309675. In the meantime, if you want to improve your financial health, if you're losing your investment and need business support, if you want to ease your financial burdens and have a robust investment, if you want to invest in education, building your business, or saving towards retirement, speak to Dauphin Finance. Dauphin Finance is right here, adjacent the Tesano Baptist Church on the Circle and Swan Road. There are planned investments, fixed deposits, call accounts, and so much more to offer you as long as financial planning and investment is concerned. Call them on 0302 201 702, 0302 201 702, or 055 822 9858. Dauphin Finance, the preferred finance house. They'll take care of all your finance business. In Tinipaku will be something about a dino, but your kind number for the last house. 4-bedroom, nice house, East Legon. Wait, my friend, 0266 309675. And then Charles Owusu is always on point. I want to take this opportunity to appeal to Charles and Kwekubako to organize a symposium to educate the youth about life matters. Edward Ejiri, aka Captain Inside Takrade. On a more serious note, Chairman General, you get a serious institutional memory. The way and manner you corroborate Kwekubako's account of history. So, Obama, well, I've been around for quite a while. Not that long, but I mean quite a while. If Kwame Nahoy's release of the book was also strategically planned to get the attention and sales he wants, head or tail, the umbrella is being chased into Abis Farouk in Tema. And then, so in all of this, what is Ezaneto Rawlings saying? Abe Queen Lashibi, I have no idea. I haven't spoken to Ezaneto Rawlings. Right. Let me do a second round, and I'm sure we can wrap up quick. My time cross. Okay. I'm sure say Kwame na back up a tough from, but interfere. Kwame na. I remember the AMA boss. I think it. I patch me, but I'll see. Kwekubaku, the AMA boss at the time was Akwe Ado.
Yes, exactly.
He came to the GBC radio and TV studios one evening to justify the demolition because he says it was in a waterway.
But it turned out that you were wrong.
Interesting. Interesting. Kwamna, mama 3 minutes about then.
Yeah,
Why mean can be
Anyway.
Motor do a being voters registration exercise ends. A wasteful enterprise or EC deserves approbation. Namoke Kakao Kwame. Ebra Yedifi Soja Bang Daba Budunde Namatase, Makamatasa, Majedra Etmase. Electoral Commission. She share my Mawoye a Jumo to them. You or 1988. That's why for local government elections. Ma Queen Awafado Basabi. I didn't man him. I war in the trenches. War fight for Kuba, war fight for return to democratic governance. See, I'm sure contender there have a loaf. It's better than none. See, yeah, ma, yeah, the babe. If you registration, yeah, church or do. Zoya biometric. Yeah, 2012. And ma Dani, yeah. Kwame, ende, inye kura wo ho ado ye fe. Say the few sports and was not widespread. Now I'm there. And the social media and more benefit sakumpa da obia beti and all across. Enti anu kaya bibi today.
Kwame not 3 minutes we ask.
Oh my goodness.
Oh, na Kwame chame same men yenti won to.
But you don't determine what I do with your time. I am a benevolent dictator. I was Kosuro.
Yeah, but organize the first coup d'etat. What's a new title?
Yes.
No question.
No.
Adam Morton Yanka Jean Mensa. And I am painful. Mr. Tete Bossman Asari. And Dr. Sibo Kweku.
Send away.
Kwame.
Sylvia, no, Fred Tete.
Oh, Sylvia.
Asante Kisi
Sylvia. Mr. Abra. Women. Emma Mo station can see when is in common and with that this was a relieved lady. Now my can home relieved.
Yeah.
I'm telling you, Kwame, she was here whoopajai. There or my sister Amagidon Abba. Now and Birosa, your woman, no, there was the Jume. Amazed there. Electoral Commission, a Jumaya, why ye madame or you remember Kwesi. Electoral Commission, Sabado, what the papa. Why you Juma papa, no so. I mean, regional secretary, Macade, a region, or your name, biometric way. Or mama, or your parties, your origin, your banker. They are more shada, ya, or your minus. If you're for getting 3-year-old, 4-year-old. Now, we'll go my feet, and I can count my yab. I tell you that this registration now I remember what that to walk home. Oh yeah, what what about some good thing? My yash share you there. One and a waging a do Akuma Kong, a Jurumu Kong. What are you do the Mabiri? Nagana Fina, Dodona, young Wado, Yabaka, Nayarakan. Woman called the man, she said that away him. The captain bra. Yet the bar botwa, but now Banuso, Kong. There were a referee. one the yen na pra if you can come out say you na say adwata na nkwimza ba adwata say we na say Kwame Bukar na nkwimza ba Kwame Bukar na maka nya mewe Kwame
na
hwe Mpape Mukasa former president Mama Odebay there we are yampam or accuse Supreme Court they ganged up with the government electoral commission ganged up why are yampam you build my film and prim where you want from why I don't pour there one capede bilum Baba register ma what and some former president Mama one-time president and commander-in-chief of the Ghana Armed Forces kasa okay pa this is the man Kwame after the registration na wa banor kasa there the registration has met his expectation.
The registration has met his expectation. Because you bet you next week. But before that, Abu Isa Money says, tell Kwekubako, I'll write the foreword for the book, Working with the Benevolent Dictator. And then this one says, tell Ujam that my first coup d'etat is someone's copyright. Okay. And that is from Dan in Kwabenya. Then Kwesi Bani says, Chia, fancy people organizing a coup d'etat. It is dead before conception. When after Kennedy chased the elephant into the bush, the NDC went to town. Kwame Nahoe has worked with Rawlings. Deja vu, we shall go to town. And that's Bruno. Charles Yapon.
John.
Yeah.
Biti Anke Kwakuno. The conclusion and say Emre ho yeni nkaso. Emre yeni nkaso. Today be even ye. Since last week yabaha the coffee na me dwendwen onyame ho. Ane ne niam a oye. Chairman enya wanwa say onyame nim de oye. Say odi kasta chiche ni pam. Enti wuhia unia wo ya ikwani a obi nkyerɛ wo sɛ wo ya ikwani because ne kasa be kyerɛ wo sɛ wo ya ikwani wuhia unia wo ya mfantene a ne kasa kyerɛ wo sɛ wo ya mfantene me broni a mete ha nkransa ni even bro babra ye wo bono kase ho but ye wo nkransa ye wo atebubu ye wo doma ye wo tachima kasa no timi ma ye hu ba bia obi ade efi
yeah
na oba kasa mu kura so a na wo konye nkura ni nkura se ye fia ye sa wo abusua bia so hye de hye edem enti me fin kransa domi abra himfie ba me fifie bia mu kransa domi abra enti ana nwanwa ye me hu se obi timi kasa ye ntimi identify who se Ghanaian who se Ghanaian enti o ntimi tiase because I share that kasa ma ye hu ba bia obi ade fi but onyame wanya ne kwa wo ye bibi for a purpose enti na penifo se ensamoni enti na ye to din a chere se enka obi enti na so abitu kwa American embassy se me ya black American enti me ba jibe sa kwa American o kasa akura kyerɛ sɛ womfio ye bisa ba bia wofia ane ba bia wotene kuruso a wontimi nkyerɛ enti ɛyɛ ni so sɛ nyame adaroma registration ina aba na wie but abaso de bi o ba bia ɛsɛ de ba security agencies no especially the military
yeah that's it
owura pompe prane ne nkofo
yeah that's it
anopai yɛbɔ mabaso enka menya nanka ye registration a soldier for ni krom a police for ni krom nanka obi atini akọ nanso yes ade epa ye hunti asase emra
na won sama wo charge ada wo ye de wo twetwa
meba
in security o wa ye charge na tan wa hwe
utie ensama ekoso leading to the registration now and in for cross sabi o say etimi ba so a sabi one some for di mata
na wo hifa wa ka sama no sana amado
like one some for mata that only one some
I mean, what I'm saying.
Out your bad man, I say one samba. One of your.
Now, Padinos one son and
What's one son?
All these things.
Church is squeezing balls. You squeeze.
A pedal and Abobon.
Let's be a bit charitable.
Yes, just.
Osophobia is a script to be an icofano. Utie the Casa or better Bontin Kai. Or friend who suffer to be limited in on your suffer, but on the source of.
Oh, now I'm not one.
I did a tractor or no issue. Nequire before we kumni power bontin so a moja baba. Yeah. Or pump a pran and call for I get you. So you're why you do papa. Yeah, that's it. So just come to town. And you must have the everybody can say, okay. Town, the Omonco Sandra, no Pumundi, now man for intimidating, and your Mudiama come up because so that full cruma. Law and order, no law, no.
They come in when it's necessary.
Yes, back up.
But that's not their routine.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah, that's
about one airport. And who tracks a who do I issue in now? I see make sure say from now to see about trouble.
Police handled it.
You been ya asundria, SSA yenya. All the border towns now, minimum year. Sabi, me koto me do any so you need a border town. I say, I don't think so. Say your problem. Say, I see a withdraw mo back baby. Yendi a passenger or my team. A beam passenger, to a passenger. Asundria bit me my team a call. Ye numa so. Now you call Asamba. Am I inside my crown? But I'm
answer I do want to baby in the CID foot here and Pacho project to be na Nkrofobidi Anria Egu Revanum Ewutetegu. Our police focus stop on police from Mutia and Pamcho. Yenyan and Tia, so must started the Anyan Egu in Sionomubium. Still on Peso Musisa Dino. It's Pamcho, Tetegu, a home for my Charles was saying.
Mr. say, acquiring who do a criminal, abaying them now, ministry so air crockery. Mr. Udu Kaneshi footbridge now. If you are could see first light. Said a white CIA, I want to my Israel. Also, a free, we call it Eba, Obichebi run about one. Now free, Yura. Central Gospel Church ICGC a white panel. Yes, said a home manano city no Omada Roma dance any various areas are acquiring service a bit of a trip to acquire the Mayan so a driver conscious. A buying no more no one.
Please ask, is it the Asa with Bentria or the Wanzam type that the guy was looking for? Kwame Duncan Charles Usu Kwekubako. In the meantime, no auto car rentals, auto ne ebusefo auto car rentals, Kumasi Airport runabout, Michiamunina Anope, Udu Kumasi na Saope Kapapa, Shisha auto car rentals, and no ewu Kumasi Airport roundabout auto ne ebusefo nyina Michiam. In the meantime, happy birthday to you, Vicky Reko Andoff IPR, Madam, enjoy your birthday. The good Lord richly bless you. Vicky Rekwandorf IPR. Have a lovely birthday. And our very own Abigail Ashley, author behind My Smiles, Iran Hofena, kidney project. We were watching the second book, The New Me. Someone him say, "Wakwe kidney transplant." Intino watcho kratafu from The New Me. Ebi ewo piece of feminim here. Mutimi ebetobi. Let me shout out to you, Patrick Kweku Efrifa. One day I'll mention your name again. He says my birthday is on the 27th of August, but from the look of things, I'll postpone it to August to 27th of September. Wafa K, have a lovely day. Thanks for listening. And this one says, Nate Osai, you're 9 years old today. Happy birthday to you, to Nate Osai, from your parents, Mr. and Mrs. David Osai. To you, Nate Osai, have a lovely birthday, my little friend.